This is Ian Williams for VNUnet. I'm here with Stephen Bynan, Managing Director of NTL Telewest Business. Stephen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hello.
Now, we're here today to discuss Telecoms 2.0. Now, this sounds suspiciously like a buzzword, a bit of marketing spin. Tell us a little bit about sort of what Telecoms 2.0 actually is to you guys.
Well, Telecoms 2.0 is the name we've given to the bringing together of two things. Firstly, our next generation network asset, and secondly, a mindset, an approach to business that we've developed over the years.
Okay, so the first side is relatively self-explanatory. You know, the broadband is becoming increasingly ubiquitous, especially in the UK and around Europe. Tell us a little bit about the new mindset then.
What the mindset is about the long-standing customer relationships that we've developed over many years as cable businesses across the UK being brought together into a single place. In NTL Telewest Business, we have taken the best practices and the best of the customer relationships that have been developed over many, many years and put them together into a single entity. And that's where Telecoms 2.0 comes together.
And in terms of drivers for this, is this just the natural progression of NTL growing and growing as a company, or how much of this is driven then by customer demand?
We have seen an extraordinary explosion in customer demand over the last few years. Over a 4-year period to January this year, demand for IP bandwidth across our core network has increased 700%. And that is putting a huge strain on UK telecoms networks generally, but because of our deep local access network, we're able to handle that a lot better than other people.
Now, 700%, that's a massive increase in demand. What's driving that?
What's driving it is an explosion in consumer end-user demand, which is itself rippling through into business-to-business use. So people using things like MySpace and Facebook, and now iPlayer recently, the BBC video on demand service, are suddenly making real all that hype about end-user demand that fueled the earlier growth of the internet.
But is this now people finding ways of using, say, video technology and user-generated content in social networks? Are they using it for their personal use just at work, or are they building these into business methods of utilizing these sorts of platforms?
No, very much the latter. Companies are finding that if they want to be able to communicate effectively with their customers, they're having to use these new technologies. So people are increasingly using video externally to communicate with their customers, and also internally to communicate with their staff in larger organizations. That in itself drives exponential use of bandwidth across the core network of a business company.